so blessed to have, to attract wonderful musicians. And I've had a number of folks like Richard just show up here one Sunday, and I'm talking to them, and the next thing I know, I find out they're a musician. I can just sense that they're a real musician. And that's how that's how Richard came to the fellowship. And he's now been here 3 or 4 times. We guess we met each other probably around 10 years ago. He lives in Asheville, North Carolina. And my favorite story about Richard was that when Marty and I visited Richard in Asheville a number of years ago, in his apartment that he used to rent before he bought the house that he lives in. We've been there twice. We walked into the house in his apartment, and the only thing in this entire apartment that I remember was this Steinway grand piano and lots of recording equipment and keyboards and a bed. And that was Richard's life. Richard walks his talk, and he uses music as his instrument for spiritual healing. You see, he's really truly a monk in the highest sense of that word. And I asked him, where did you find this Steinway grand piano? And he says, well, he looked all over the country to find the perfect piano, and he found the perfect one was in California. He's in Asheville, North Carolina, and the cost for shipping it was prohibitive. So Richard goes all the way out, flies out there, rents a U-Haul and puts this grand piano on the U-Haul. You can imagine what that's like securing it. You just can't bounce up and down with a Steinway grand. Comes all the way back by himself, and that's how dedicated Richard is to music. So I won't say any more, but Richard's just a dear friend and a dear soul, and we're so glad to have you with us, Richard.
Thank you very much, Bruce. It's always been wonderful visiting Bruce and Marty and coming to the fellowship. However many times I've been here, it feels like I'm returning again. One of my homes away from home. So what I'd like to do is continue with where we started. The process, I think we call this divine exploration through music or something like that. But what I'd like to do with all of us is what I call a musical soul portrait for the group. And by each of us staying in our divine connection, there are explorations that will happen based on the intention of music for the highest and best good for the fellowship, for everyone that is here and everyone we are connected with. So I invite you to go into your inner space and listen, not like this is a musical concert, but that this is a portrait of each one of us and all of us together. You may recognize a passage of music that feels like yourself, and if and when that happens, I would say enjoy it. Basically, the way I understand it is that my higher self and your higher selves know what we're doing. I can't say that for this personality, but this personality is pretty good at surrendering to what I become aware of. So I'm going to play some music, and then I'm going to ask for a response from some of you, or from whoever feels that there is a response that comes naturally. And in that response, that will be a feedback loop for all of us to travel where we need to go. because there may be a group prayer that may be necessary. Whatever it is, we may be doing some work for the world, or we may be doing work for the world in that we are working to allow the divine greater access to ourselves, which is, I know it's a funny way to say that. So anyway, I'm going to tune in and ask for music for the highest good for each one of us, all of us, and all that we are connected with. And I invite you to enter into this process with me. Please stay in that quiet place. I'd like to ask if anyone would like to share their experience so that we can move deeper and further. Yes.
My experience was very profound. When I began, all I could hear was the chatter of my mind. And I got angry with myself. For the noise. Because I know the noise keeps me awake. The noise gives me an excuse to not connect with other people. And then I heard the surrender to the teacher. Surrender to the teacher. You are the student today. You are the student. And then I got so full that I imagined myself coming here and bringing cups and giving everyone a cup and pouring water into the cup such that it would overflow in our hands and fill the church. And then I saw a tree in a dark place in the forest. And there was this golden light, sparkly golden light coming out of the tree. And it's pouring, just like a cup. And it overflowing on the earth. And then I saw children, all of our children. The earth children. Each one of us standing in a circle around the tree, but not facing the tree, but facing outside the tree, facing out. And the golden light was pouring on their heads and showering all of us and all of them with light. And I wondered in that moment where I was. I couldn't find myself. And then I realized that I was inside the tree. And then I became the teacher. In that moment, for that moment. And so all of us did it. And then we got quiet. And now I'm just finding my roots.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
on the way to the depth of spirituality, when we have these experiences, our emotional bodies go through what they go through. Thank you for sharing that beautiful experience. I want to go to a place through the emotions, to the place where we are always lovingly supported and we are part of that grace that is the source of life moving through us, and that we are also that which moves through us. But I invite you all to feel your feet, because it's not a place that we're used to going to. So I'm going to play some music to that I'm hearing as evoked from that experience. It's like another level. Okay, now keep feeling your feet though, because it's very easy to go flying off with this kind of music and with this kind of energy. But to feel it in your feet means you're grounding it in your own experience, in your own lower self, or I wouldn't call it lower self, your own dense self, the body, physical body. Actually, this will actually increase the light in your body. And by continuing to evoke that light in the body, connecting with the earth and connecting with the heavens and connecting with the source that is everywhere and is within, we bring forth the greater light and are able to bring that light to the world. And of course, obviously this is the fellowship of the inner light, so I think I tuned into where where the fellowship is too. And that's the most important thing for me, is that the inner source of life expressing as each one of us. I'd like to, I think I'm about a half an hour now. I think what I'd like to do is I'm going to play a song called The World Peace Theme, and I'm going to invite each one of us to allow the overflow to be taken by the angels wherever it is needed on the planet. Take a few deep cleansing breaths. And welcome back to the room in our entirety. Is everyone feeling here and grounded? Yeah. Okay, great. Bruce, it's all yours.
So I've asked Richard to lead us in the meditation today.
I invite everyone to invoke their higher self, their mighty I Am presence. The angels, guides, masters, beings of light, nature spirits that work with each one of us, our teachers, our beloved, the God within, whatever it is called by each one of us. And I invite that alignment which comes from our direct spiritual connection and spiritual oneness with that which is the source of all life. I invite the oneness that is in each and every one of us to be present, magnified in each one of us. I invite our heart connection, the depth of our love, to reveal itself within each one of us. That heart connection also moving forth in red roots from our heart down through our torso, through our legs, to our feet, into the earth, to the core of Mother Earth. That source of natural life for each one of us. Those red roots going all the way, thousands of miles to the core of the earth. And I invite Mother Earth's response. welcome ourselves home. Within each one of us, the divine lives. I'm going to play a short improvisation from this space. Coming down from the heavens, bringing heaven on earth, and we welcome ourselves home. I invite everyone to feel your feet